Yeah, myself, Suresh, lecturer in mechanical engineering from the Institute of Government Polytechnic, Chegunta. So I'm going to deal with the subject called fluid mechanics and hydraulic machinery. And my today's selected topic is from pumps. And the subtopics are classification of pumps, notations, and working principle of centrifugal pump. Okay, right. So we can see the objects here. So by completing of this class, we will able to know state the function of a pump, state the classification of a pumps. Okay. So actually we can see. So actually what is a pump? We'll see here. Okay. So a pump is a mechanical device. Okay. So a pump is a mechanical device which converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. Okay, that is called a pump. So a pump is a device which converts the mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. Okay, so thereby increasing the pressure energy of a liquid. Okay, so a pump is a mechanical device which converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy, so thereby increasing the pressure energy of a liquid. Okay, so we can see here this is a block diagram of a pump. Okay, so pump mechanical energy to hydraulic energy. Okay, so mechanical energy to hydraulic energy from the pump. Okay, now we can see the classification of pumps. Classification of pumps. Okay, so pumps are broadly classified into two types. Okay, these pumps are broadly classified into two types. We can see, so positive displacement pumps and rotodynamic pumps. So these are of the two types, okay, of pumps. So positive displacement pumps and rotodynamic pumps. Okay, so first we can see the positive displacement pumps. So what are positive displacement pumps? So in these pumps, the pressure energy of the liquid is increased. Okay, so in these pumps, the pressure energy of the liquid is increased by pushing or displacing the liquid. Okay, by pushing or displacing the liquid with a moving member or piston. Okay, or by the piston or moving member. Okay, so examples are reciprocating pump. Okay, reciprocating pump and rotary pumps like gear pumps, screw pumps, vane pumps, etc. Okay, next. So second one is a reciprocating or rotodynamic pumps. Okay, so rotodynamic pumps. So in these pumps, that is the rotodynamic pumps, the pressure energy of a liquid is increased. So due to the dynamic action of rotating element. Okay, so how you are increasing the pressure of the liquid? So due to the dynamic action of rotating element, so known as impeller. Okay, so the pressure energy of liquid increases, so due to the change of its angular momentum. Okay, okay, here we can see the reciprocating pump here. Okay, so these reciprocating pumps are further classified as three types. Okay, further classified as three types. Okay, we can see the diagram of a reciprocating pump here. Okay, next we can see the gear pump diagram. You can see the gear pump diagram. Okay, so the gears are rotating by meshing the teeth. so that so the fluid will passes through the pumps with a high pressure and velocity. By the pressure energy, the liquid will flows with a high velocity. Okay. Next, we can see the diagram of a screw pump. Screw pump. Next one is vane pump. We can see the diagram of a vane pump. Okay. Okay. So vane passports, plot slots, cutoff spike. We can see. Okay. Next, next we can see the rotodynamics. Okay. So already I explained this one. So these reciprocating pumps are further classified as first one according to the action of water on the piston. According to the action of water on the piston. Okay. So single acting pump and double acting pump. So these two are the reciprocating pumps according to the action of water on the piston. Next, while coming to the action, according to the number of cylinders used, according to the number of cylinders used, so we have three types: single cylinder pump, double cylinder pump, and triple cylinder pump. So this is based on according to the number of cylinders used. Okay. The third one will be the according to the presence of air vessel. Okay. Okay. According to the presence of air vessel. So these reciprocating pumps are further classified as pump without air vessel, and the second one is pump with air vessel. Okay. So pump without air vessel and pump with air vessel. Okay. So you can see here. So this is a centrifugal pump diagram. Okay. So we can see here action pump. We can observe the moving of the screws here, rotating the screw. Okay. So this is a single acting pump. You can see here. Single acting pump. Next, double acting pump. Okay. Next, we can see the uh, number of cylinders based on the number of cylinders used. These are the diagrams. So here we have used two cylinders. Okay. Next, we can see the air vessels. Okay. Single acting reciprocating pump diagram. Okay. So you can see here. So single acting reciprocating pump. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the construction and working of a single acting reciprocating pump. Okay. So the main parts of a reciprocating pumps are, you can see here, cylinder, piston with rod. Okay. So first one is cylinder, and second piston with piston rod, and the third one is connecting rod and crank mechanism. Connecting rod and crank mechanism, and the fourth one will suction pipe with suction valve. Okay, so we can see here at the bottom, suction pipe with suction valve. And the fifth one is delivery pipe. The top we can see. So delivery pipe with delivery valve. Okay, so all these are the main parts of reciprocating pump. Okay, right. We can see here. So we can see here. So all these are the main parts. Okay. Next we can see here. Okay. So the working principle of single acting reciprocating pump. Okay. So in single acting reciprocating pump, the liquid enters on one side of the piston only. Okay. So the liquid enters from here. We can see. So in this, that is in single acting reciprocating pump, the liquid enters on one side of the piston only. The piston reciprocates, okay, inside the cylinder. So what will happening of this piston? This piston will reciprocates inside the cylinder. Okay, as the crank rotates. So as the crank rotates, the piston will reciprocate inside the cylinder. So the to and fro motion of the piston. Okay, so the to and fro motion of the piston so creates suction and compression inside the cylinder. So what is happening when the crank rotates? Okay, the piston will slides inside the cylinder so that the to and fro motion of the piston which creates the suction and compression inside the cylinder. This is a working principle of single acting reciprocating pump. Okay. Next we can see the suction stroke. Okay. So when the crank turns in clockwise direction from A to B. Okay. So in this figure, so it is A to C. Okay. So when the crank turns in clockwise direction from A to C, that is 0 to 180 degrees. Okay. The piston moves outward. Okay. The piston moves outward. Okay. So rightward. That is nothing but rightwards. Okay. That is from left to rightwards. So which creates vacuum in the left space of the cylinder. Okay. Next, the vacuum causes suction of the liquid from the sump. Okay. So opening the inlet valve. The suction stroke is completed. So when the crank reaches to C. Okay. Next one is delivery stroke. Next is a discharge or delivery stroke. Okay, we can see here. So when the crank turns, okay, from C to A, the crank turns from C to A, that is from right to left. Okay, so 180 to 360 degrees. Okay, that is the piston moves towards left, so increasing the pressure inside the cylinder. Okay, so suction valves closes and the delivery valves open. So what will happening there? The suction valves closes and the delivery valves or discharge valves opens. Okay. So the fluid flows out through delivery pipe under the pressure. Okay. Next we can see the double acting reciprocating pump. Next we can see the double acting reciprocating pump. This is a diagram of a double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, right. So this is a diagram of a double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, we can see here. So there are the different parts of double acting reciprocating pump. Delivery pipes. These are the delivery pipes and suction pipes. So these are the valves. So this is a delivery valve 1 and delivery valve 2. Suction valve 1, suction valve 2. So D1, D2, S1, S2. Okay. And this will be the piston with a connecting rod. Okay. And this will be the crank end. Okay. And these are the discharge or delivery pipe. Okay. And this will be the sump. Okay. Sump level and sump. Okay, and these two are the suction pipes. Okay, now we can discuss this one. So we can see the main parts of double acting reciprocating pump. So we can see the diagram here. So these are the main parts. So cylindrical barrel, piston, two suction pipes, two suction valves, and two delivery pipes, and two delivery valves, and a connecting rod and crank mechanism. So okay, so we can see here. So cylinder accommodates piston and valves. So the cylinder accommodates with piston and valves. So piston reciprocates inside the cylinder. Okay, this piston which reciprocates inside the cylinder. Okay, exerting the thrust on the liquid. Okay, so suction pipe connects source of fluid and the cylinder. The suction pipe which connects it to the sump and to the cylinder. Okay. Next, the delivery pipes discharges fluid from the cylinder. Okay. So suction valves. Here we can see these two are suction valves. The suction valves admits the flow through the suction pipe into the cylinder. Okay, so what is the purpose of these valves? So these valves which admits the flow of the liquid. Okay, so through the suction pipe into the cylinder. Okay, next delivery valves. We can these two D1 and D2. So these two valves are admits the flow of liquid from the cylinder to the delivery pipe. Okay, which is going to be discharged. Next, we can see the outstroke. Okay, outstroke of the double acting reciprocating pump. Okay, so piston moves from left to right. Okay, from left to right, the piston will moves. That is for outstroke. Okay, so fluid is sucked on to the left side of the piston. When the piston is moving from left to right, so the fluid from the sump level, from the sump, which will sucked, okay, which will through the suction pipes. Okay, so the fluid on the right side of the piston is pressurized. Okay, so that is suction takes place on left and delivery on the right side of the piston. Okay, next we can see the in in stroke. Okay, in stroke we can see we can see the in stroke. The piston moves from right to left. Okay, the piston moves from right to left. Okay, so the fluid is sucked onto the right side of the piston. Okay, so what will happening here? The fluid is sucked onto the right side of the piston. The thus the fluid on the left side of the piston is pressurized. So what will happening? So the fluid is sucked onto the right side of the piston. The whatever the fluid lifted on the left side of the piston, which is going to be pressurized by the piston. Okay, so that is the suction takes place on right and delivery on the left side of the pistons. Okay, now we can see the notations. So the inner diameter of the cylinder is, is equals to d, small d. Okay, inner diameter of the cylinder is represented with d, and area of cross section of the cylinder. Okay, that is from diameter of the cylinder only. Okay, a is equals to pi by 4 d square. Okay, next, radius of the crank. Radius of crank is equals to small r, and piston stroke length L is equals to 2r. Okay, that is nothing but radius. Okay, next, speed of crank in rpm. So speed of crank in rpm is equals to n rpms. Okay, next, so theoretical discharge is equals to qt. Okay, next, actual discharge is equals to qa. Next, theoretical power required is equals to p, and the specific weight of fluid is equals to w. Okay, and the suction head is equals to hs. Okay, h, small h, s. Next, delivery head, small h, d. Next, static lift. Okay, capital H. Static lift, capital H, is equals to hs plus hd. So h is nothing but suction head plus delivery head, hd. Okay, that is the static lift, capital H. Okay, next we can see the equations for performance parameters. Okay, so single acting pump, so volume by revolution of crank is equals to a into l. Okay, so volume of fluid per minute, so is equals to a into l into n. Next, hence discharge qt, that is theoretical discharge, is equals to a into l into n by 60. Okay, next, weight of fluid per second is equals to w into qt. Okay, w into qt. Next, work done per second, w is equals to small w into qt into hs plus hd. Okay, next we can see the power required, p is equals to w into qt into hs plus hd. Okay, next, slip s is equals to qt minus qa. Qt minus qa. Next, percent of slip is equals to qt minus qa by qt into 100. Okay, next, coefficient of discharge cd is equals to qa by qt. Okay, qa by qt. Next, we can see the double acting pump. Okay, equations for performance parameters. So double acting pump, piston rod diameter is neglected here. Okay, so volume per revolution of crank is equals to 2 into a into l. Okay, next, volume of fluid per minute, so 2 into a into l into n. Okay, next, hence theoretical discharge q2 is equals to 2 into l into a into n by 60. Next, weight of fluid per second is equals to w into qt. So weight per work done per second, capital W is equals to small w into qt into hs plus hd. So this is also similar to the same as work done per second, that is power. Next, slip S is equals to qt minus qa, and percent of slip is equals to qt minus qa by qt into 100. Okay. Next, coefficient of discharge CD is equals to qa by qt. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the some of the problems on these topics.
Right. So now we can see this problem. This is the first problem we are going to solve today. So a single acting reciprocating pump has a plunger of diameter 250 mm. Okay. And stroke of 350 mm. Full stop. If the speed of the pump is 60 revolutions per minute, so what will be the theoretical discharge? Okay, find theoretical discharge, coefficient of discharge, and slip if the actual discharge is 0.0165 meter cube per second. This is a given question. So by from this question, we are going to write the given data first. Okay, so diameter of plunger D is equals to 250 mm. So that is given in mm. So convert into meters. That is 0.25. Next, stroke of the plunger L. So 350 mm. Same thing converted into meters 0.35. Next, speed of the pump N is given as 60 revolutions per minute RPM. Next, actual discharge QA is equals to 0.0165 meter cube per second. So these are the given values. Okay. So what you have to find? You have to find the theoretical value QT, coefficient of discharge CD, and also slip. Okay. Right. So what is the formula for theoretical discharge? QT is equals to ln by 60. Okay, L into A into N by 60. So we know we can get the L, A value from diameter of the plunger. Okay, so A is equals to pi by 4 d square. Okay, we'll get A is equals to 0.049 meter square. Okay, next. So by substituting this A value here in this formula, okay, so we know the value of L, that is 0.35, A is 0.049, and N is given as 60 by 60. So we'll get Qt is equals to 0.01721 meter cube per second. Okay, so actually actual discharge is given as 0.0165 meter cube per second. Okay, so CD, from this next we will get coefficient of discharge CD. So what is the formula for CD? CD is given as QA by QT. So QA is equals to, so 0.0165, and QT is 0.01721. So by substituting these values in the formula, so QA by QT, so we will get CD is equals to 0.96. And okay, and the final one, what we have to find? We have to find the value of slip. So what is the formula for slip? So QT minus QA. Okay, we know the formula of QT and sorry, you know the value of QT and QA. So by substituting those values, okay, so we will get slip is equals to 0.00071 meter cube per second. Okay, next. Next we can see the another problem here. In the above problem, find the theoretical power required to drive the pump. So given suction head as 5 meters and delivery head as 20 meters. So this is also continuation to the previous problem. Okay. So given data as h is given as 5 meters and hd is given as 20 meters. Okay. So to find power, okay, so qt is already we have find qt value, that is 0.01721 meter cube per second. Okay, so theoretical power is equals to, so p is equals to w into qt into hs plus hd. So we know the value of w, qt, hs and hd. So by substituting all those values in this formula, so we'll get theoretical power. Okay, so w value is 9.81, qt is 0.01721 and hs is given as 5 and hd is 20. Okay, so from this we can get power is equals to 4.218 kilowatt. Okay, next we can see the second problem here. Okay, a single acting reciprocating pump having a bore of 150 mm and stroke of 300 mm length. So discharges 0.20 meter cube of water per minute running at 440 rpm. So the delivery and suction heads are 24 meters and 6 meters respectively. So find theoretical discharge in liters per minute, coefficient of discharge, and slip of pump, and also power required to drive the pump if its efficiency is 80%. Okay, stop here. I'm getting some disturbance here. Please wait. Yeah. So this is a problem we have. So this is a given data. We can see here. So bore diameter of pump D is given as 150 mm and stroke length of pump 300 mm and Q is given as 0.20 and speed is given as 40 rpm. Suction head HS 6 meters, delivery head HD 24 meters, and also given efficiency. Okay, eta is given as 80%. And what will be the theoretical discharge QT and CD coefficient of discharge, slip in the belt and power. Okay, so you have to find four values. Okay, Q, QT, CD, slip and power. We have to find. Okay, so we know the theoretical discharge formula. QT is equals to ln by 60. So we will get, first of all you have to calculate the A value. Okay, from pi by 4 d square formula. So we'll get A is equals to 0.0177 meter square. Okay, so from the given diameter. Next QT is equals to, so L is given as 0.30. So A we found, okay, that is 0.0177 and N also already given 40, okay, by 60 we'll get 0.00354 meter cube per second, that is theoretical discharge. Okay, so we'll get, so 0 point, if you are converting, it is multiplied with 60. Okay, so it is will get 0.212 meter cube per minute. Okay, so this is a given, qa is given as 0.020 meter cube per minute. Okay, so from this we can get coefficient of discharge CD. Okay, CD formula qa by qt. So we know qa is given as 0.20 and qt already we have find, that is 0.212. So from this we'll get cd is 0.94. Okay, next we have to find slip of
slip by the pump. QT by so QT minus QA. So by substituting those values, so we'll get slip is equals to 0.012 meter cube per minute. Okay. So next, what you have to find? Final one, theoretical power. So we know the power formula. So P is equals to W into QT into HS plus HD. So we know the value of all these values. Okay. So we can substitute those values in this formula, that is as w is w in place of w, right, 9.81. So qt 0.00354 and hs as given as 6 and hd 24. So we'll get power is equals to 1.0418 kilowatt. Okay. And also efficiency is given. Okay, that is given as 80%. So actual power is equals to theoretical power by efficiency. Okay. So what is theoretical power? So how much we got? So power is 1.0418. Okay. So already given efficiency 80%. Okay, that is 0.8. So we'll get, so actual power is equals to 1.302 kilowatt. That is the power, actual power. Okay. Next, so we will conclude now. Okay, this is a, I'm going to close now. Okay, I'll stop here.